5 more games here at the FACEIT Global Summit to determine who is going to become our Global Summit champion, our inaugural champion of the PUBG Classics. As we continue things on here at PUBG, live from London, I have Toffees and Avenger to my right-hand side, and we did just have the scoreboards come up before. However, those were incorrect. You were fooled. You were bamboozled, ladies and gentlemen. So we do apologize for all of that. And we are actually going to take a look at the actual scores here, as we do have Open Gaming Rangers up towards the top, 73 points. Armory Gaming, 13 points behind still. So whilst OP Gaming Rangers did come in with a little bit more slight of a lead there, they are still very much ahead. Team Liquid is the one that is up in 3rd place right now with 52 points. And I was dead excited before all of this because my boys were in that 3rd place spot. But no, I was bamboozled as well. They're in 7th. Sorry, VSG.
They did slide down, but this outlines what could become a very big question and or problem for Liquid going forward. They make it up to 3rd place. They're in striking distance of the OP Gaming Rangers. I expect nothing more than climbs again in the next 2 games, and they're going to have a very real decision. I think when we go to Erangel, they're probably going to be in the top 3, if not the top 2, and have to say, do we win this tournament, or do we defend Pochinki?
In regards of we want it to ourselves at the Global Championship.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the reason, yeah.
And that's what they say the reason is. Yeah. I mean, but then you have the other side of what, maybe 17, something happens, the rosters don't work out, maybe they don't qualify. I mean, at the end of the day, it's one of those things like you're taking a huge loss for a long-term risk.
Let's be honest, though, they've done phenomenally well considering they were defending that location in the first 3 games, not doing that brilliantly, and then Miramar comes along and this is how things go, Avenger. So it's kind of, they've done extremely well considering they're almost in a slightly handicapped position, a self-handicapped position considering.
Yeah, they got less than 15 points in the 3 Erangel games, and that's not enough to become a champion here. I'm worried in multiple ways because there's no chance that they're going to have Pochinki to themselves at the Global Championship. Somebody's going to contest it because if they have it to themselves, then they're going to win. Like, they're that good. If they're going to have Picardo and Pochinki to themselves at a Global Championship with 32 teams are just going to be here in November later this year, then they're going to win from that because these spots are that good. Yeah. If you have that to yourself, nobody can test you. 17 Gaming, they will most likely, I will nearly guarantee you they will be there because they are that good.
Yes.
And they're going to contest. They're not going to let anyone have it for free.
I mean, it's a massive attempt at a power play.
Yes. But the problem for me is, where do they go instead? We just talked about this. So where do they go? The options are Roshak, School Apartments, because they want to play center, right?
Sure, yeah, of course.
Gatka, Tempo Storm. School Apartments is currently 2 or 3 teams, Airwolf and 4 AM. And then if they want to go down to the Southern Road where there's 4 teams, they have to go too far away for it to be worth anywhere. So that's kind of my thought process. Where do they want to go to the edges now? Do they go, Sarki or something crazy and then play super late? I just don't think it's viable for them.
I think there's some solutions, and I think that's maybe a discussion to have after this tournament. Yeah. The one to have right now is what happens when an immovable force and what's the other?
Immovable object.
An immovable object and unstoppable force crash into each other, and that's what's happening here. 17's not going to leave. They want to say we're not going to leave, and if neither leaves, nobody gains anything from this tournament because they're in the same spot they started when they get to PGI.
Well, gentlemen, I'm glad we've talked a lot about Miramar. Final thoughts of it before we
I'm very happy. I'm very happy we've seen Airwolf to step it up last game. They got 2nd place with 5 kills. This was the start they needed today. This is them moving forward. They're sitting at 19 points, only 3 points behind Cloud9.
Toffees, 10 seconds.
I gotta think about Miramar now.
5.
Okay, faster looting, faster transitions, and sometimes the edge ain't so bad.
Thank you very much, and a fast Toffees to say the least. This time, we're getting into game number 2 here for our final day of the FACEIT Global Summit as we head over to Paper Thin and Matchroom for all of the action.
Thank you so much, and you can see there is a Chinese contingent of fans out in the audience. A lot of 17 fans out there, as well as 4 angry men. I wouldn't say it's 4 angry men, it's like 4 angry men and an army are with them.
Yeah, they have some really passionate, dedicated fans. I love to see the Chinese people come out here and really support their teams, really bring in the hype for our crowd here today. It is just so fun to hear them get hyped. And like you were mentioning, they like to see the Korean teams lose a little bit. There's a big rivalry between those 2 regions.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can hear every single time a Korean gets down, they just go absolutely insane. So here we go. We have seen some absolutely nutty circlers coming into play. We've had to see a lot of strategies being brought up. Really all about the decision-making process and as it comes through. So many stakes on the line for this tournament. Naturally, we've got a ton of money in those 3 regional spots, which right now I believe would go over towards Korea, Southeast Asia, and Europe.
I mean, Thailand has really been emerging as a huge esports region globally. They're starting to compete in a lot of different esports and really starting to do well, and you're really seeing that here today with AG carrying the banner for them.
I mean, it's just coming down to the wire for these regional spots in these top couple of places. We thought that the #1 spot just had this huge lead, but it's just been slowly eroding, and we aren't even halfway through the day yet.
Yeah, it's a big lead for OP Gaming Rangers going into today. They need to find a way to continue the success, to continue getting those kills. I thought there were a couple moments where they maybe played a little bit too passively in that last game. I want to see them keep building because they've been getting better and better as the tournament has gone on. They started off very, very poorly in the group stages. Then they went to the elimination round and barely made it through, getting that chicken dinner in the very last game. And then yesterday they went off huge.
Look at this. We've actually had one of the members of Arrow Wolf sneak right up into Incognito's looting position. This is a little bit of a cluster, but it is going to be inside the new safe zone as the circle is going to be off towards the east. You can see right in the middle of it's Incognito and Arrow Wolf 1 all around that graveyard positioning. So a couple of shots going back and forth between them right now. Every single one of these shots kind of gives away repositions and also slows down the looting for both of these teams.
Yeah, Incognito rightfully pouncing on top of Katao here. He is all alone in this warehouse. We've got Insight, Joxy, and Ronan coming in here to try to flush out Katao. Katao already decently well looted up here, so he's ready, trying to find the angles that Incognito's trying to take on him. You can already see Joxy moving up on the hill, but Insight coming in here with the UMP.
I love it, getting in some SMG action. We don't see it a whole bunch in competitive PUBG, but oh, look at this sneaky spot that he's at. He's actually left the forefront of this and playing along the pipe. So now it's going to force Incognito to figure out how they're going to make the moves around for this. Have they managed to see him along the outside? I think that Insight might have seen the hand switch as they were going back and forth, but look, Katao does drop down. Insight's still looking for him. Does not spot him down below. Is he going to jump out? If he does, oh, there we go. Finally sees him. Goes for the shots on his back, and there you go. That's going to be Arrow Wolf 1 getting taken down. And it's the pan again from Incognito. I love to see it.
They're great. 2 pan kills here for Incognito. They are alone in that stat in this tournament, so they got that to hang their hats on. Great job flushing Katao out there.
Naturally, the rest of Arrow Wolf 1 already going for a reposition, but that's throwing them into the arms of Intis Force that is still in their loot process. We have seen Team Liquid loves to drop in the middle of the map, so we've got Team Liquid over here, and to give us a breakdown on how all these rotations are going, let's throw it over to our experts.
Yeah, guys, so we noticed NIP, obviously, they've mixed back up. They've not been having any luck in Kumasera. The playing path didn't really suit them, so they've kind of gone back to their home almost, just north of San Martin. 4AM doing exactly the same. They're trying to get across, and it's forced Entus over. AG, meanwhile, we just saw how awesome their rotations were in the last game, going full west. This time, they're doing the same again. There's nobody in the northeast. Why not go up there? And they're rotating already. 3 minutes 41. They're already getting in position and looting en route. Brilliant stuff from them so far. Back to you.
All right, guys, well, we are back here. AG controlling a lot of the northern edge of the circle. What really impressed me in that last game, whoops, Lambu. What really impressed me with AG in that last game was they early on, around second circle, they basically cut off a quarter of the circle and were able to safely make rotations based off that.
There is the dirty, dirty culprit. You can see it blending in. It's always the motorcycle. So Lambu was actually out in a position by himself going, I think maybe trying to go for a little bit of a 2-2 split. So Styles going to go after them, get a little bit of a res up on top of it, but we can see shoot to kill now looking towards 17. No shots coming through as they're getting a little bit more information. Alo's going to have another 17 member coming through right back behind this. We're starting to see this be more common, where you don't take shots at the motorcycle that goes through. Don't give away the position whenever the scout passes, and instead try to pick up the cars back behind it.
Yeah, here we see YY. He took a little bit of damage here. Show coming through as well for 17 Gaming as they make their rotation into the circle. South of Hacienda here, STK already setting up to try to, set up picks on these crossroads that are south of them.
So you can see the other members from 17 actually stopped due to shoot to kill's firefight that was happening there. That put Monkey King in a high ground position. Yak's taking a couple of shots over at that Bronco, trying to make its way through the hills, and it makes it away fairly safe.
Yeah, Entis Forest here. This is a pretty similar start to what we saw when they got their chicken dinner yesterday. They're able to post up center circle. You know, they like to drop around Minas Generales in that area. Incognito has been dropping over there as well. So let's see if they can make it work for them again.
One thing to note, we actually have 4AM separated out, trying to hold down a very large area of the map. There's a lot of people that are going to be trying to crash towards the center. That might mean we could see some 4-man stacks just dropping right up on top of 4AM as these repositions come into play. So you're going to have to see, does 4AM decide to regroup, move back into a duo situation, or maybe just go full 4? Because if they stay by themselves, this could be bad for them.
Yeah, absolutely. They're trying to cover a lot of ground. The problem is that a lot of teams are going to be coming from that western edge. So they've got like NIP, AFF, Team Liquid, C9, eventually Windstrike. You can see C9 and Windstrike are taking their time with their looting. They're going to be making later rotations. OP Gaming Rangers sending Mental ahead as they come in from the south here. C9 now up and running in their vehicles, making their way in. So we'll keep an eye on them. They've been having a bit of struggle here. Miramar was their bread and butter in the group stage. We'll see if they can find their rhythm again.
One of the last teams to be making it towards the safe zone. It's really just them, Windstrike, and VSG, with OP Rangers kind of tailing, but about to be inside the safe zone right now. So I love this positioning coming out from Envy. This is such a strong complex. You can see there's just flat terrain all around it and allows you to control so much space.
Yeah, Crate coming in here for Zanpa if he decides to go for it. An AUG and all that level 3 gear to get you going. Tixu and Windstrike now starting to make their rotation. They're heading out a little bit northwest of El Pozo, so it looks like they're going to be making their way north as well. VSG making a long rotation around the northern edge by Campo Militar. Godby taking some shots at the other Chinese team, 17, nothing landing there.
And you can see 4AM Godby all by himself right now. So that means that each one of these players has to control the territory around them. They do have a little bit of sight lines towards each other, so you can kind of protect each other, but somebody that doesn't have any protection really right now is Samty, as he's just hoping that the speed gets him through it. But look at this, James pops off right back behind Taro, gets the down and the flush onto one of the Envy players.
Good gracious, that is about 200 meters away, and James just insta-rips him. Nice shooting there from him. Great job covering his teammate as they make a bit of a dangerous transition, but they make it work, especially because they have the cover from the other members of Team Liquid.
Patcap's now under fire, as well as Moody. You can see James playing that ridge. The other two members of Team Liquid are playing along the outside of it. Finally, Venerate is going to be going to meet up with the rest of his team, so that's going to kind of slow that down. But now you have Envy that's kind of pincered between multiple members of Team Liquid, so no real easy way to take any nice, easy shots out of it.
Right, 4AM here, trying to find some shots onto members of STK, but nothing going here. Juxie trying to get a shot into Style, doing some damage. Style about half health, able to get around that corner on that motorcycle, and he will be, looks like he's able to get out of there successfully for now.
A lot of terrain that kind of blocks the sight lines from that. So Josie takes his shots, at least lets them know that he's there, so that way they get a little bit more breathing room, because at this stage a lot of these teams want to get a little bit of space out. We haven't necessarily seen Freaker Freaks Fatal be too much of a pushing team at this stage of the game, so it wouldn't surprise me if they just kind of play this terrain out and kind of look towards each other. Everybody's just kind of waiting for where this next circle goes. Most people are making the gamble over towards middle, but there are a couple of teams that are still kind of forced into that edge position.
Yeah, Windstrike going up into the blue. They're going to make a very late entrance to the circle. I think they want to see the second circle before they decide to make their move. Teme, you can see, leading the way here for them. Nookie, a very strong player yesterday. We saw him pop off a couple times for Windstrike as a solo in game number 1. So this guy really can do it for them.
We got Windstrike just casually hanging out in the blue. No rush coming out from them. Team Liquid very happy with the flush that they got onto Envy a second ago. Now going for a reposition. Looks like they're just going to be playing along these rocks and this ridge. Another very strong position. Oh, this circle. I got to say, we have seen some absolutely harsh circles coming through. Duckman's taking the shots over towards Maluk. Maluk's on no life. He's just got to cross through. He has to be very careful if he bumps into anything. Remember, he's going to take some damage off of it. But just trying to get away from one of the members of AG, but I believe there's another one on another angle, so Maluk is going to be running right in front of him, and yeah, that's going to be Han Boya just picking that one off.
Wow, great job there by Han Boya and the members of AG to flush out Maluk. You can see OP Gaming Rangers heard those shots. They're making their rotations toward the center of the circle. There's quite a bit of water in this second circle. Almost a third of it is water.
So we got OP Gaming Rangers and AG in a strong position already. VSG making their way through. A lot of these teams are going to be funneling into very specific paths, given how the terrain plays here. There's that big ravine that kind of goes right along the edge, so it could be very, very hazardous for a lot of these late moving teams.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a couple teams making late rotations. STK, NIP, Windstrike is off of our map. They're way out there. AFF coming in a little bit late here as well. C9 on your south running into the trailing members of OP Gaming Rangers, Mental and DG98. Jemty making his way up a little more central there. We'll see if these two teams get into a bit of a skirmish as we move on, and Tempo Storm is already set up on this compound up on the hill.
It's really funny. There's two different styles of rotation that are happening right now. It's pedal to the metal, go, we've got to get in there. And then there's a little bit slower of, okay, let's get to the edge, get a feel for what's happening. You can see a Freaks Fatal caught up into that little bit of a fight. They've got Envy off on one angle, and I believe Team Liquid taking shots from another one. So just having to hide back behind their vehicles right now. But keep in mind, as they get those shots going into the vehicles, that's more damage, that's potentially tires popped out, and puts them in very dangerous rotation positions.
Yeah, absolutely, and you can't stick too close to those vehicles for too long, because if they blow up, you go with it. OP Gaming Rangers regrouping here on the southern edge, trying to play gatekeeper to C9, who's trying to push up that easternmost road into those mountains there. So we'll see how those teams engage each other. Team Liquid pulling up on this hill in between 17 and Tempo Storm.
But it's as 17 Gaming is also making an approach. A couple of shots now coming out from Moody back towards Afrika Freaks Fatal. Looks like they might be trying to go back into the vehicle. He's just waiting patiently for it. Nice connection onto it. Knocks him down to about half-life. That's going to force a reposition of the vehicle. Lambu now trapped back behind that tree as Moody is just taking some pot shots towards him. Actually does connect. Great shots coming out from Moody. Can he line it up on the other side? No, just barely misses this. Lambu, he's just trying to make sure that not even a foot is showing out from that right behind that tree.
That was an incredibly thin shot that Moody made there. There was not much of Lambu sticking out behind that tree, trying to make a couple other shots. Oh my goodness, he gets the headshot.
Nice shots coming out from Moody. Can he follow it up? As you can see, thinking about going for the res. Shadow is in a world of hurt back over there, throwing down the smokes. I think Moody's just going to keep laying into that opening, seeing if he can connect anything with it. Does get the tire down off it, but Incognito comes up back behind and drops Moody.
Another bolt action headshot here. It is on here for Incognito. They're putting some shots into Venerated. He is taking a lot of damage, trying to run down that hill, dumping and diving as much as he can. Packcaps here takes a little bit of damage as well. Envy in a lot of trouble.
See, Venerated's trying to figure out, okay, how do I make the play back out of this? Packcaps has already had to leave. Remember, we saw one of the members from Envy get down and flushed by Liquid earlier. Vard now looking back over towards Tixu. He's got a little bit of a tricksy angle. A couple of shots now coming out from the other members of Windstrike, and Vard decides he has a better option the other direction, so just unloads and now starting to make his way over towards a little bit of safety of the buildings.
Right, third circle shifted hard west here, moving away from the water, about what you would expect here. NIP northerly outside of the circle. They're trying to rotate in, but VSG is here waiting for them, doing a lot of damage as Dangche. Very, very low is NBS. He's trying to get through here, and he does get knocked. Oh, he knocked himself.
He tried to jump out of the vehicle. He saw Hulk was trying to get away from it, so it does go down, but you can see that's going to be one of you just walking up, flushing that one out. The other members of NIP, they have to make an approach. There's the ocean off to the side of it. They don't have a whole bunch of options, so they're just trying to play along the ridges right over here next to it. But look at this. VSG will just not give them a single chance to catch a breath as Miraku and Vard are trying to make their way through. You can see Gaxi just hitting the spin, trying to just coast his way into safety.
Yeah, Dangche here backing off a little bit. That one grenade doing a little bit of damage, but now VSG inside of the circle able to play gatekeepers here against NIP. Now it looks like some of those ridges there might be in the circle for NIP, so they don't quite have to make their rotations yet. In fact, you can see 4AM kind of starting to look over onto this fight as well. They might want to third party this. In fact, Juanita's pretty much out in the open here. ZG wants it. He does not take it though.
Being patient, trying to see if they can find a better angle, wait for the rest of the team to get in position because they realize that they can get into a nice spot. If they move back behind the ravine, they might, or this little bit of a ridge right here, they might be able to make their way off to the side. And there are two members of VSG actually playing the high ground, and they hear this. Can they capitalize off of it? Is VSG, are they tunnel visioning right now just too hard on NIP, or are they going to see the approach? And looks like it's going to be ZGG that just walks right up next to Starlord, who takes a ton of damage.
Yeah, Starlord had no idea this was coming. He never really looked over the way that 4AM was coming, so now the push is on. The grenades are coming out. There is not a lot of cover for Starlord here. One grenade will knock him. Will the second grenade finish it? He is so low, he will surely go down.
Now we've got Hulk that's up here by his lonesome as 4AM feels like they're content. They got their little bit of damage, now going to step back away, regroup, forever holding the angle, making sure that nobody made a push up the side of that ridge. Now they're going to make their way back down behind them on a different angle, and it's going to be shoot to kill that's actually peppering them from about 400 meters away.
Yeah, Purdy Curry, landing a few nice shots here with the SKS. Like you said, a very, very long range here, but he's going to back off a little bit, wait for the rest of his team. It looks like they might be getting shot at from another angle here. Alo trying to put some more shots down onto the members of 4AM as they move down into those chemical containers.
And that is a huge problem. Whenever you're forced into the low ground on Miramar, you suddenly lose all of your information gathering. That means whenever you have to make a rotation, it is so much more risky. You don't have any idea on the direction that you need to go. 4AM and Shoot to Kill are both right along the edge of the circle and have to assume they may be moving on this next rotation.
So we're looking down here with the OP Gaming Rangers, who are still playing gatekeepers onto Cloud9. VSG, we're moving back over with them because NIP is making an aggressive rotation here, trying to get out from under the thumb of VSG, the remaining members, and another hard shift to the west.
NIP, they were making that aggressive push because they knew they had no choice. They had only one direction they could really go, and now they have a long cross that they have to make. Team Liquid is right in the middle of the circle, and look at this, Cloud9 pushing right up next to OP Rangers. The grenades are starting to come out. Mintel's trying to connect with it. Going to be running by his motorcycle he has parked over there. A slow and steady push coming out from Cloud9. We haven't seen them be too flashy as of yet. They've got to run right through that grenade. K-Mine can't quite make it through. So now we've got OP Rangers that are starting to get a little bit more control of the fight. Profi doesn't have the angle, but looks like Cloud9 has managed to take control over one side of this building and are going to use that chance to res and med up.
The reinforcements are coming in here from the OP Gaming Rangers. Tamari and Babo have set up on the northern edge to provide cover for Mental and DG98. They might opt to just back off of this fight for now. It is outside of the circle.
Sue's in a little bit of trouble. Here's the rest of Windstrike is trying to make their way over. Armory Gaming going to be running right up next to him. That's going to be nice shots coming out from them. Going to get the down and the flush. No, can't quite get the flush off of it. Windstrike Tanuki's playing the other angle, so now you can see Jorski's just trying to get to a point where maybe he can defend Tiksu. Honboya took a lot of damage inside of that exchange, and Duckmans did go down, but it is a numbers advantage right now for Armory Gaming. Tiksu is just huddled into a corner, praying nobody is going to look back his direction. General's going to peek around the side, could spot him out in just a second. Here come the grenades. Tiksu is feeding over so much information. The longer he stays alive, he can just listen to footsteps. You can see AG just really wants to take him out, deny that information, finally does get it.
Great push here by AG, keeping Ducksman alive. A huge moment for them. Profi in the background, getting a knock and a kill onto OP Gaming Rangers. So C9 really putting the pressure down there on the southern edge of the circle. A Freak of Freaks fatal there as well. And it looks like Tamari is trying to see if he can get a flank onto C9 as they're rotating towards this knock onto Mental.
He's got a nice position. I don't know if Cloud9 is expecting it. Grenades are starting to roll through. That's a nice connection onto Mental. The other one's going to roll back down the hillside. DG's feeling like he's in a little bit of danger. But back behind this, Tamaria is just watching this and finally going to take the shots. But it might be a touch too late. Cloud9 has no idea where they're coming from. They're just getting torn down. That's going to be loads getting flushed out. Tamaria with a nice pickup.
Yeah, but Tamaria is the last member here alive for OP Gaming Rangers. Too little, too late, and exactly. Profi moving up here to try to cut Tamaria off. It is a 3v1 here for the OP Gaming Rangers. They had the position, but C9 making this push work, showing how well NA is able to push compounds.
OP Rangers, they're now stuck inside this building. They are not inside the safe zone. One member remaining. They know they have to push. Cloud9 is firmly aware of where they're at. You can see that Nerf's taking a couple of shots back on this angle. That means that Profi's going to know the exact positioning of the OP Rangers' last member. They're going to go over that motorcycle we saw beforehand. Are they just going to try to cut and run out of this? This could be very, very dangerous. Oh, it's going to be Windstrike getting involved in this fight at the most opportune time for OP Rangers, getting that down onto Nerf. So now Tamari can just jump in the motorcycle and ride through, but it's going to be right into Windstrike. A lot of damage now coming over towards Tamari. Can't make it up the hill. Inside the blue does not matter. Gonna go down.
Great positioning here from Windstrike, but AG is right on their heels. Here comes DMG. He's hearing this fight, getting the rip on the Jorski. That will be Windstrike going down, eliminated by Armory Gaming in 13th.
Cloud9 has not had a chance to catch their breath. They haven't even been able to get the res right now. Profi's just looking back up towards Honboya, gets one of them down. Armory Gaming still got to make a little bit more of a cross. Tempo Storm is waiting down on a different angle for him. Okay, we finally do see the res come through onto Nerf, so Cloud9 back to 3 members.
Yep, and AG here getting a few points for themselves, but losing Honboya in the process, but that doesn't really seem to affect this Thailand team. And VSG has been doing a lot of work, losing Starlord early, but picking up some kills here. Now we've got a battle battle between Force and 4AM.
4AM is trapped outside right on the blue. Forever tries to push forward, but you can see OG Intus Force is just waiting for him. Captain's taking a lot of damage out there, just trying to get meds off, but it's going to be another angle that he is getting shot from. Finally does manage to make it into safety, but he is the last member of 4 Angry Men. I guess you could say they're 1 Angry Man right now.
Jokesy trying to get some shots here onto that last member of 4AM. He is hiding behind a tree. Can't quite find the angle here. Captain's going to be able to position himself well enough that he can heal up.
VSG slowly making their way up right next to Force. So that's going to be a collide point, as it looks like they both are vying for the same positioning around the circle. Team Liquid and 17 both taking some shots at him. Look at this. VSG is coming right up behind Force. I don't think that they're aware of it. Look at the patience coming through. The trap is now sprung. The grenades are coming down with the spray, but look at the spin back from Force. They get the down onto one of them to start this off. So now it's 2 members of VSG trying to figure out how do they make the push back down through this. Make that one member, as Dengche is the last one alive.
VSG just trying to pick up some points with kills, being aggressive, but it doesn't pay off. They can't make the sprays work early on, and that proved really detrimental. Sungjung, one of the best in the business at turning on people. Dengche will be able to back off for now. Here we got Tempo Storm fighting Team Liquid. A bunch of knocks being traded between these 2 teams.
Team Liquid managed to come out on top of the fight, and that's going to be Tempo Storm getting eliminated. Cloud9's looking on a similar angle. Afrika Freaks Fatal holding down a nice position. Incognito showing up as well, getting control over the western part of the circle. The 1 member from 4AM Captain still alive, but there are a ton of teams up to the north right now.
Yeah, it's pretty congested around the north and the southeastern part of the circle. Team Liquid still holding a pretty central location. All right, here we go. Dengche trying to make something happen here. Icky from the Arrow Wolves cooking a grenade, looking to make it land onto Dengche. He's behind that shack. That grenade comes up pretty well short of Dengche here, so he's able to get the first aid off. Trying to kill. Oh, nice headshot there from Dengche.
Dengche is aware he got a little bit of damage, but you can see the red zone is just going off in front of him as grenade after grenade is just rolling right into his doorstep. He's actually having to play the other side of the building. If Force was not caught up taking their fight with 17, he would be in such a vulnerable position. If they crest that hill, he is as good as dead, but he has to focus on the enemy in front of him. Cloud9 still trying to figure out how they're wanting to make this play around Team Liquid as the new circle pops, and it's just everybody having to make a slight rotation to get into it.
Yeah, 17 Gaming controlling the last remaining compound here in the circle. We've got a 3-way battle between AFF, C9, and Team Liquid on the southern edge of the circle, vying for control of these hills over here. C9 getting a lot of damage done to them by Gemty of Team Liquid. Backing off for now. Nerf hiding behind a tree, trying to get that heal off.
But look at Afrika Freaks. They're starting to move. They have that high ground position. Nerf's taking a lot of damage. Nowhere that he can really move to. He just had a couple of trees. Team Liquid made a defensive line, just gave them no place to hide. But now Afrika Freaks starting to make their way up over that hill. There actually could see Team Liquid first, depending on the angle. Actually taking a couple of grenades back over to where Profi's at. I believe they spotted him while they were rotating into that spot. But Lambu also looking back over towards Team Liquid. They might choose into fighting 2 different teams at the same time here.
Yeah, it could happen. They've backed off a little bit for now. It looks like they're a little bit scared. They took some shots from various angles here, and it looks like Lambu still trying to catch up onto that left flank. We see Lambu do this from time to time, where he goes out to the flanks and tries to cover the team.
It's going to be Lambu taking some shots back over towards Samty, gets the down onto him. Going to go for the flush to follow through. The rest of Team Liquid going for a reposition. Very aware that they still have Cloud9 back behind them. They know that they might be in a little bit of a pincered position, so trying to figure out how they want to best play this. Cloud9 hears the firefight and is now flanking around. Actually going to be coming back up behind Afrika Freaks Fatal. Depending on how much they're looking back towards Team Liquid right now, that could be very detrimental for him, as nope, looks like Style knows exactly where Profi was going to be coming from. Hits a nice headshot onto him to get the drop for it, and now it's just K-Mine doing a peek battle back and forth. Style has the angle for it, but is just one member. NN is pushing across the top of the hill. Knows exactly where Cloud9 is going to be at, trying to find the right angle for it. Gets the flush down onto one of them and actually steps right up into K-Mine, who gets a down onto it and a flush to follow through. Now Styles playing that outside angle. NN has to make that retaliation push back through, but the blue is coming back through. Grenade does a lot of damage to K-Mine, but he is still somehow alive. It's going to be Gemty that takes the shots back over towards NN that gets the down onto him. K-Mine is now just crawling forward, praying that nobody sees him. Finally does jump up, making his way over towards that car. Can he find some type of space to work with? You can see K-Mine's trying to go for the flush onto it, making them up to 10 kills right now, but Gemty now knows exactly where he's at.
How did Lambu not see K-Mine? He looked at the ground. He must have thought it was a dead body. That proved to be a crucial mistake here for Afrika Freaks Fatal. They had the push. They had C9 completely pinned down, and they end up losing the battle because of that Dengche. Oh my goodness, putting some damage into Ente's Force here. He's forced to back off because AW1 is shooting at him. RDK has the angle.
Dengche, no fear, as he's the one remaining member for his squad, taking a couple of shots. On this, we have so many damaged squads back down towards the southeast. You can see Team Liquid down to 2 members. We've got 1 member of Cloud9. New circle pops, and it goes in 17's favor. So now we've got Incognito that's running a split right back behind them. Might have to go back behind us. Look, K-Mine just walks right up back behind Jimty and gets it down in the flush. So now it is just Ibiza up and alive for Team Liquid. K-Mine is trying to show off right now. He's got himself 7 kills.
This is crazy. K-Mine absolutely doing amazing things here for C9. He has been their star player throughout this tournament, and it continues here today. Entis Force up on the north edge, still vying for control of that area with the Arrow Wolves and the surviving member of VSG. There's 2 left here for the Arrow Wolves. They're just waiting. They're trying to be patient. And ooh, Style trying to come over here to fight Incognito. Has to back off because of that grenade.
Last member for his squad steps right up into Incognito, and they get the down onto it. So now more and more control is coming out their way, but they still need to make their way back down to where 17 Gaming is at. It looks like they might decide to make that push over to where Team Liquid and Cloud9's last members are at. Ibisa's just watching the angle. K-Mine's trying to figure out where it's at. Keep in mind, K-Mine's gonna have to move forward just a little bit more, but so is Ibisa. Ibisa can hear the footsteps, takes the shot over towards K-Mine, and K-Mine spins back over onto him. That's Team Liquid getting eliminated.
The hero here for C9 taking some more damage from Incognito. They've got 4 members strong. They're trying to push through onto K-Mine. He's trying to heal up behind this tree. There is not a lot of cover here for him, but for now it's just inside who has an angle. Here come the enforcing members of Incognito trying to put some shots onto him, and he will go down. C9 in 7th place.
K-Mine put up a valiant attempt, but there were just a ton of members pushing on this. Incognito wanting to go nowhere near where 17 Gaming is holding down. We still have Intis Force up towards the top of this, and you can see it's just 17 just taking shots and getting more and more control over this position. Force really just the deciding force that may be able to contend with them, but there's so many solos, and we still have the RDK alive off on another angle as well as Dengche. So we'll have to see how Force chooses to play this. They're leaning into their vehicles right now, trying to use them for the last bit of remaining cover they've got.
Right, Dengche here just trying to survive as long as he can. He will be in the circle in that position. He has a decent amount of cover there, so he can buy time while Entis Force continues to engage other teams long range. That's Incognito over there. Incognito taking a lot of damage from various teams. 17 and Force able to get shots down on them.
Incognito gets a little bit of circle favor. Finally, we see VSG getting eliminated. So now Incognito doesn't have to make their dangerous push. That might give them a little bit more life. They had the numbers, but you can see they just have near on no cover to work with. They're just having to run around little divots inside the hill. So 17 getting more and more comfortable in their control of the circle, have started to leave their buildings, taking some shots back over towards Incognito. That's going to be a down in the flush onto one of them. Only 3 kills for 17 because while they have had this building, nobody's been really pushing towards them. So finally stepping out, trying to get those necessary kills.
Right, exactly. They're probably going to have to leave this compound here after this next circle shows itself. 4 AM still has a member up. Captain has found a way to survive for forever. He lost all 3 members a long time ago. Now we've got YY taking some shots at Entis Force. Entis Force having to smoke up to try to cross this little ravine in between these 2 hills.
Shots now coming through, and here it's RDK taking some shots on the other side of it, finally deciding that he wants to show up, see if maybe he can get something out of all of these slight skirmishes that are happening next to him. Yak seems to be aware of it, but it's Incognito that stops Yak's forward progress over next to where RDK is at. You can see Captain down on his belly, crawling closer, edging little by little right up next to 17 Gaming. Are they aware of it? Look at the amount of damage that has been dealt to Force right now. Only 1 member alive as they were just huddling together inside the smokes. Captain is just crawling right up next to Shox. I believe he's made it inside the circle.
Oh my gosh, Entis Force just getting torn apart in a crossfire between Incognito and 17 Gaming. Tons of smokes have been laid down. Kale getting finished off here for Insight, who has 5 kills of his own. Incognito having a nice little round for themselves.
By 17 and Incognito's powers combined, Intis Force is in a world of hurt. They're having to use a ton of utility. Finally, some shots come back through, but Indigo on 19 life steps back up, and Wykik Mukau gets a nice drop onto him. Now it is just Yak hanging out right next to RDK. They have a hill separating the two of them. As look at this, Captain knows exactly where 17 is, slowly crawling forward. Could he turn this game on its head? They don't seem to be aware of it. Yak finally takes the shots back over towards RDK. Insight goes down as well. Captain still crawling forward. He's got all the members of 17 in front of him. He could take the shots. He could go for the grenade. What's he gonna do? He's just sneaking up back behind it. Is this gonna be the turning point? Can Captain come up big? It's gonna land right up on their feet. Oh my God! Captain just destroyed 17 Gaming.
Are you kidding me? Captain with the huge grenade and a quad kill, looking to push through here. This could be Incognito's game, or could
We're
Captain
down to a
clutch this?
1v1. It's Waikikamukau versus Captain. He's looking back up. He knows where Waikikamukau is. Another grenade's gonna come out and roll away from Waikikamukau. We've got Incognito playing around one hill, Captain playing around the other. Waikikamukau trying to figure out where these grenades are gonna be coming from. Waikikamukau, what angle does he have? Everybody's gonna be making their way up and forward. And here we go. Circle is closing in. Grenades raining down. You can see Waikikamukau trying to get away from it. A lot of damage back over towards him. He's gonna have to move in just a second. It is just unrelenting from the amount of grenades that Captain is carrying right now.
All that utility they can pick up off of the dead members of 17. He can make it rain here onto Waikikamukau. Waikikamukau does get the first aid off of that grenade. Just a little too far, but he's so weak. 4 AM, getting good. He just misses the shot.
He makes it into cover, but it doesn't matter. 4 AM, run away with that and get 8 kills off of Captain's massive plays.
Oh my goodness, look at this crowd. He has set them on fire. Unbelievable.
4
One man.
AM. My God, China just showed up inside of that one, and Captain walks away with 6 kills, and you can hear the audience is just absolutely loving it.
This is incredible. Look at this. He had all the time in the world. 17 had no idea this grenade lands right at their feet. None of them even realize it until it's too late.
Captain with a huge play. Wouldn't be surprised if we see that one for quite a while.
That one is going to go down in the history books. That is one of the most insane things I have ever seen in competitive PUBG. Look at him getting that crowd fired up.
They just turned a game on the head. They had so many losses to start that through. Somehow Captain managed to just crawl his way through this bloodbath that was happening all around him. Keep in mind, he was next to Force for what? I want to say about 10 minutes and never got a chance to have anybody look his direction, so somehow sneaks right back behind it. And the tunnel vision from 17 just bites them.
I mean, I love Miramar. This is why I love Miramar. Stuff like this, because of the way the terrain, shifts and undulates in Miramar, it makes for exciting moments like this. We saw it with AG yesterday, where they were soloing things, and now we see it once again with Captain from 4 AM. I am just beside myself.
Oh, keep in mind, we still have one more Miramar game, 4 games left. China hadn't been in the top 3 yet, so they didn't manage to make it in the top 3 regions to get their extra spot. But 4 AM and a huge showing here that might really shake up the leaderboards as far as that goes. I gotta say, with this, we have 4 AM that came in first, Incognito right behind that, Insight picking up 5 kills himself, OG Intis Force coming out in that 3rd place spot, 17 following that in 4th, and AW1 coming in 5th.
I mean, 17 had to feel like that was their game. They had that central compound for such a long time, but they only come out with 4th place and 3 kills. That is a huge blow to them in what they probably felt like should have been a win.
I mean, they were controlling that territory for so long. They weren't letting anybody push up next to him. We saw Incognito was right back behind him, was like, no, we can't even make this push. Opposite of going all the way around to the south over towards the eastern part, OG Intis Force couldn't even make a footstep forward without 17 taking shots to him. But finally, whenever the circle started to close in, we saw OG Intis Force. They had to move forward, and 17 took that hill, and it was just the perfect opportunity. And you gotta say, Captain just absolutely capitalizes on it and walks away with 18 points for his team.
That's crazy. Incognito, what a round for them as well. They're playing very well here. 16 more points for them, 13 points for Cloud9, so their best round of the tournament so far. 12 big kills from them, a lot off of the back of K-Mind there.
Well, we also do have to remember Shoot to Kill. They were up towards the top of the leaderboard to start today, have had 2 bad rounds, walk away with 0 inside of that round, and that is bad for North America.
Absolutely. Well, guys, we're going to get an interview with Freya here. I believe it's with our winners of round number 2 of the day.
That was one of the most insane plays I have ever seen in my life. That was unbelievable, Captain. Can you talk me through what was going through your head when you were crawling up against those 4 17 gaming players with that plan? Can you tell me what
后，然后我身上留了一颗手雷，我就想好了，这波我一定要丢雷，先丢雷再打。然后他们站得比较近嘛，然后运气比较好，炸了3个。
Well, I would like to say I have no back actually to turn. This is the only way I can go at that moment. And I got only one grenade in my hand, so I just keep calm down and I snaked towards the 4 players in front of me. I just throw the grenade. It was fantastic at that moment.
And as you said, you were the only player remaining on 4AM. What were your teammates thinking at that point? What were they telling you to do?
你在那个时候是唯一的4AM 的队员存活在当时那个时候。那么在那个瞬间，你的其他队友对你讲了些什么？
就提醒我一些小细节嘛，先把包脱了，然后把身上东西都丢了，然后我就留了颗雷，留了颗闪。然后当时我看他们4个人站一起，第一想法就是一颗雷扔过去，就结束了。
Well, actually, my teammates, they are keep reminding me of small details. For example, like I had to get rid of my bag. I have to get rid of things that I don't need. Only one grenade, and also a flash, and something else will do. So I grabbed the grenade, and at that time, I just thinking, one grenade will does all actually, will do all that I need actually in this game.
Well, you were not content with just doing that. You managed to take down 2 remaining members of Incognito as well. What was your approach to that? Were you feeling confident after that incredible play against 17?
其实你不仅仅就是说最后就击败了17的4名队员，其实最终在决赛圈的时候还有 Incognito 的2名队员。那么你在那个时候你是不是已经觉得就是击败了17的几位队员之后，你就非常的有信心，或者说在最终决赛圈面对2名 Incognito 队员的时候，你的想法是什么？
当时想的就是我看了小地图嘛，我那个地方是离圈中心最近的，我一点都不急。然后我舔了17的包，然后捡尽量多的手雷，就炸它就行了。其实根本都不用那样，我一点都不急，就很轻松。
I was very relaxed at that time. I was not in a hurry because I saw in the map I was quite near the center of the circle, the final circle. So I was not very hurry, and I had got grenades from what 17 have left actually. So I'm pretty confident I can just nade down all the Incognito players.
I mean, grenades have been your forte, it seems, today. Have been absolutely phenomenal. We're going to be seeing more of those plays in the next 4 matches.
看起来手雷对你来说非常重要。那么在接下来的这些还有4场比赛当中，会不会更多也去使用手雷这个道具呢？
我们队有一个雷神嘛，就我们的队长，就我向他学习嘛。阿伟教得好，我尽量就用手雷击杀敌人就好。
Well, actually, we've got a god of grenade in our team. So he taught me how to use a grenade. So we are, as 4AM, we're going to actually use many, grenades as we can, actually, in the following games.
Well, it has definitely worked for you. Just before we head back to the desk, you have some incredible fans out here in the audience. Is there anything you'd like to say to them before we head back?
就现在我们有很多的观众，也是我们的粉丝在现场，有什么愿意对他们说的，可以往那边说，可以往那边，或者说。
谢谢大家来现场支持我们，我们会努力拿下更好的名次。
Absolutely fantastic stuff down here. Boys, let's break that one back down at the desk.
I cannot believe what we just witnessed. One of the biggest finishes in PUBG history here as CPT from 4AM gets the finish. It was spectacular.
He's crawling through the grass, primes the grenade. 17 hears the cheer of the crowds, but it's not for them. It's for CPT.
Oh my God.
And in that one moment, he says, I am the captain now. And from then to the end, it was nothing but 4 angry men.
That was absolutely insane. This will go down in history as one of the most insane clutches. This was spectacular.
Absolutely.
Oh, man, I can't even, my heart's
unbelievable. What a way to finish it out there. As CPT is now a legend here of PUBG. What an impressive performance, display, everything. We were pacing around in circles while this was going on, losing our minds. The crowd was losing our minds. Not only the Chinese contingent, but everybody else that was here as well. I cannot...
You're steaming up, James. You're
what happened? What was that? Unbelievable.
I mean, it genuinely came down to The sneaky snake. No one expected him to do it. It was open. There was no grass. It was just flat land, and he crawled his way up there. 17 heard the roar of the crowd. 17's fans is the only contingent bigger than 4AM's fans here right now. So they thought, yes, this is it. Our fans are going to worship us. We're on our way to the championship. And then, you know, they heard it. The dum, dum, the landing of that grenade.
Oh, no.
And they knew in an instant that it was over. And then from there, he goes on to win the match. That was legendary plays from CPT.
I thought he was going to go out in fifth here with 3 points, and then he had 0 kills before this.
Yeah.
They had 2 kills in the team. That was like a 5-point game. Then he turns up like this. It's 18 points. That's a 13-point play from one player. That's absolutely nuts.
What do we even say about the rest of the match? There is no rest of the match.
Yeah.
There is just CPT and what he was able to do there for 4AM. And
but let's say something about it
We're
anyway.
looking at it, but at this point, I really don't care. It's just unbelievable to keep your cool, and also not only to keep your cool in the moment, in game, but he was up there. He stone cold face whilst he's like, yeah, I'm the best. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But inside, he must have been ecstatic, Avenger.
You could see when everything happened, he stood up and just yelled, and he had like a minute or two to cool down, and then when he did an interview, he was very calm. Very impressive stuff from this guy. I knew these guys were good, but this clutch was just out of this world.
Have you ever seen anything like it?
No, and it's never gonna happen again. We're not gonna see. We're not gonna see a 13-point clutch ever again. It's not gonna happen.
Oh my God, that was so amazing.
13-point clutch.
So amazing.
It was also, but it was on the back of the fact that they needed the points. They had kind of a mediocre games. They need to climb up that bracket. 17, a regional rival. They get a chance to pull off something so crazy. I'm happy for them. I'm happy for their fans. I feel a little bit bad for 17.
They had
because
36 points going into this. They were struggling on Miramar yesterday. They had a 16th place, a 9th place with 2 kills, and a 10th place with 1 kill. They had so little points on Miramar. And this happens. 8 kills and 10 points from placement. This is nuts.
Just soak it in, boys. Just soak it in. This was what a scene to witness here in the FACEIT Global Summit Finals. I'm lost for words, man. I'm lost for words.
Well, that's it, too. We came back. We were losing our minds. You should have seen Matchroom and Paper Thin in person.
Jumping up and down.
I thought that Matchroom's head was literally going to explode there for a second. It was going to be the second nade to go. It was insane how strong they played this.
And also Cloud9 here with 12 kills. K-Mind played out of his mind. That was very well played by him.
I feel bad for K-Mind and I feel bad for Incognito because they both had pretty good games.
You're right.
But neither of them are going to ever be talked about. Here it is. He's creeping.
Wait. Just let it happen. Oh, it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And all of this brought to you by NVIDIA. An explosive end here to an explosive round, and CPT manages to put himself in the legacy books here when it comes to PUBG. He will begin to moving into the Hall of Fame, one would seem, but still riding into the horizon. And what an impressive display by him to be able to put 4AM on the map when it comes to this grand final stage. As you said, they were having a bit of a hard time, but this will go down in legend in PUBG.
6 kills, 3 knocks. Remember, the 3 knocks are because the 4th one is an instant. It was
Yeah, it's true.
absolutely ridiculous. 504 damage. It was just perfectly executed. He said he learned from the nade god. They're gonna. I love the reaction of like, well, we're just gonna use a lot of nades going forward. I get not. Why wouldn't you after that? But he stayed cool as a cucumber during the interview. But you could see, I think, that sparkle in his eyes of, yeah, I pulled it off.
That put him straight into the top 10 of most kills here.
Yep.
13 kills so far in total. And, he's going to be the MVP of the tournament just from that. That's 100% guaranteed. Let's not even discuss it.
Well, actually, you know what, guys? I've got a surprise for you. It's the X Factor of the match brought to you by HyperX. Any guesses? Any?
Maybe K-Mind killing a few people here and there. I don't know.
Well,
let's take it again. Let's take it again.
Let's just do it again. It's amazing, Toffees.
It is amazing. So, again, we'll just keep watching.
How long he's cooked it as well. Look at that. It landed
Perfect.
1, 2, it's 2 seconds and then it exploded, right?
They have no time to react. They're all kind of ADSing in, looking down the scopes.
He actually did something that I think was pretty interesting there.
And they died before into force as well. They got forced.
Yeah. When he threw the grenade.
Look at this excitement.
When he threw the grenade, he fired the gun. So, I don't know if you noticed this. Instead of them spreading and trying to dodge the explosion, they tried to do a 4-man pivot to shoot him instead. They figured easy kill, trade, whatever. But then the nade was a giant surprise. That's crazy.
This is 1-to-1 how you execute a clutch look like 1-to-1. You cook a nade, you throw it, and while you throw it, you take your gun out and you start spraying. I think he had 2 bullets before that on some of the guys that are further away from the grenade, so all of them went down. And then the last guy got hit 1 or twice. Perfect execution. What an amazing play.
It makes me so happy just to see those kinds of moments come out here in the grand final stage, of course, as well, where it all means so much more to try and push yourself up the leaderboards here as we continue things on. Thank you very much, gentlemen. We're going to head down to the fantastic Frankie, who is with the crowd. I'm not exactly sure what she's got, but I'm just so excited all around.
How could you not know where I am, Kalaris? Of course, I'm with the 4AM fans! And I want to talk to Soda first. Soda, why do you guys love 4AM so much?
Because their team is the best team in China.
And you're all here from different universities across the UK. How did you all get to know each other?
Because we know each other in the website, and then we have an organization and make us become together.
So there's a 4AM fans website that you're all part of?
Pardon?
There's an actual website for 4AM fans. What's that?
It's Weibo, and someone organizes us together.
And that's like a Chinese social media site, isn't it? And over to your right, we've got Optimus here. Can you talk me through these drawings, please? Each member of 4AM.
Yeah, this is Forever, and this is Godway, and this is...
What are these? What are these? Who is this and what are these, Optimus?
ZGGO or Brother Wang, yeah.
It's a little bra, I think, made out of post-it notes. Okay, and on the end here.
Yeah, and this is CPD, yeah. I asked my friend to make his more, have more color, so yeah. Just in this match, we draw him.
And in terms of Freya's interview, she actually spoke to Captain about the emotions that he was feeling when he was throwing that nade and taking out Team 17. But how did you guys feel when that moment happened? Soda?
Oh, it's amazing. And all of us are shorted, and my voice is not very good now.
Oh, I think you've got enough voice to shout them home. Do you think they're going to win?
Yeah, they must win.
Guys, do you think they're going to win?
Yeah.
Yes. And I'm coming over here. You are leading. You're leading the chants here at the XL. Come back. Come back. Come back. Can you teach me a 4AM fan chant?
4AM fan chant?
A fan chant. You've been chanting. You've been shouting for the team. What do we all say here? What do the 4AM fans say?
Let's go. 4AM! 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 4AM!
I think we might head to a break there because we're going to keep chanting, guys.